Hi guys, it's Emily from Novell Novels and welcome to today's video. This is my July wrap-up part 1. And as always, Sweet decides she wants to be in the video. So, I don't think I'm doing too bad. I'm filming this bang on halfway through the month on the 15th, and why do I always adjust my camera? And I've read 1, 2, 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 books up until the 14th. That's not bad. I'm 3 ahead of schedule, but I am going on holiday on the last week. So the last week's books is going to be very weird in the fact that we go right at the end of the month, and then we're going on that last week. So I've got to take 1 or 2 August books, and I'll literally be kind of starting them, and who knows, it's going to be a hish-pish. You'll be getting my July book haul video on the first video of the month, and then the July wrap-up part 2, the second video, which I know I've done before, but it just means even that number, my Emily calendar is going to be edited, because my Emily calendar is going to have to be filmed before we go on holiday. I may cheat and film it even earlier, because I may cheat and film it on like the Thursday before we... Actually, I may just cheat and do it on the Thursday. I was going to do it on the Saturday, but I may just cheat and do it on the Thursday before we go, because I'm thinking that the Saturday is going to be manic. No, I've got another video to do on the Thursday. I don't know. I may be cheating. I may be editing, and like my Emily calendar will go a bit hoo-ha, but we'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, I don't want this video to be ridiculously long, so let's get on. I'll show you what I'm currently reading first. So the first book is one I started last night, and that is The Lost Bookshop by Evie Woods. Last night I started it, and because I was watching the football match, so I only read about 50 to 60 pages. I read 60 pages last night. This is about a bookshop that was lost and is waiting to be found, and it's about Opaline, Martha and Henry, who have been side characters in their lives for too long. And when a vanishing bookshop casts its spell, 3 unsuspecting strangers will discover that their own stories are every bit as extraordinary as the ones found in pages. It has got mentions of other books so far. There's a mention of Wuthering Heights, so that is interesting me. I am excited. It's got really good potential, and I hope I love it. Then a book I'm starting today for a tandem read along, and that is Diva by Daisy Goodwin. It's a proof copy. It's like an ADPL product, but it's a limited edition proof, and I can't wait to start it today. And we've got some like prompts and stuff which you would have seen by the time this goes live. I probably might have even finished it, but it's just look at the stunning bookmark, and apparently it's about Eva Peron. No, not Eva Peron. Who is it about? About Maria Callas. So it's like the opera, and it's historical fiction, and it looks stunning. So I'm starting this today. Can't wait. Then a book that I've got for I Love Bookstores read along, which is Not 1,000 Tudor People by Melina Thomas. My review for that is going to be coming up on the 20th of August. I've got a long time to read it, but I'm trying to crack on with like a little bit every day before it goes live. And I'm on the letter C at the moment. So I'm nearly halfway through already, I think. Nearly halfway through. And it's not going to go up till the 20th of August, but with the holiday it needs to be read. Most of it needs to be read before, and then I've only got a bit to read when I get back from holiday, so I'm kind of reading a bit extra, but it's interesting. It talks a lot about Tudor, and it's factual rather than fiction, so. And then today I start Belinda by someone, but yeah, I've got that one, a James Austen July book that I'm starting today, but I haven't even started it, so I'm not going to say too much about it. So, I have had one DNF already, and that's Prodigal Summer by Barbara Kingsolver. It is partly because of the Alice stuff, and I can't get my head around literary fiction at the moment. I can't read books that require too much difficult brain power. I can obviously read my classics and stuff, but I do think that everything that's been going on, and I've also got other stuff going on in my personal life that has affected my mood and affected me, and it's meant that I'm struggling with certain things at the moment. So it's a DNF, and her literary fiction, it's not an urgent one, it's just not really for me. As you well know, obviously the FOMO book club isn't running at the moment, so I'm not going to be reading my FOMO book Unsheltered by Barbara Kingsolver in August like I was going to be, but I'm putting that book on pause until I am in a better headspace. So just some things are just better to by the weight, and I think Unshelved, I think the Prodigal Summers just didn't look like a me book, and it's okay, so I'm just not going to. Another book that I read that I had high hopes for, it was really good actually, by Monica Heasey. I should have read the blurb, and I should have read the reviews on Goodreads. Not for me whatsoever. The lead character in this, Maggie, is very much on a pom-pom mode. Poor old me, poor old me. And I thought it was supposed to be a funny book, and it's just so not. It's only like 2.5 stars. Maggie's marriage ended just 608 days after it started, but it's fine. She's doing really good actually. Sure, she's alone for the first time, can't afford her rent, and has an obscure PhD that's going nowhere. And at the age of 29, she's determined to embrace her status as surprisingly young divorcee. Very much poor old me, poor old me. Really not the writing style for me, and I'm just like, yeah, bye bye. Not charity shop, not for mum, not for anyone. Just not for me. Then a book that I've been reading over 2 months, and that's for my big classics, and that is The Count of Monte Cristo. It's only 3 stars, but this is going back on my shelves purely because I just don't think it's right for me. I know that Alice and Jem loved it, and that is probably affecting my mood. No, it's not. Like, I keep feeling guilty that I didn't connect to it, and they loved it, and I feel like I'm letting Alice down because I'm just not connecting with it. I'm struggling so much with classics. I'm really, really struggling. The Jane Austen book, like, I'll show you Sense and Sensibility, that was a successful one, but I'm struggling with these big books. I'm reading like 20 odd pages a day, and I think, in all honesty, with me at the moment, I just think it's gone in my seeing eye and out my blind eye. I'm not taking any of it in, and I didn't really get it, and I could barely tell you anything about it. So although it's 3 stars, I just couldn't connect. So I'm gonna keep it on my shelves, and when my classics reading gets back into the stick, I'm hoping I can connect. I just don't seem to be, like, I'm really struggling with classics. I'm struggling with literary fiction. I'm struggling with reading books that require too much brain power and that I need to really absorb in. Like, if I don't connect with it, then I'm struggling to absorb it. And I'm literally skim reading. It's like I could have read a page and couldn't have told you anything that was on it. And that's really bad, and I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. But yeah, those are the 2 books that are not really my successfuls at the moment. But I have got 8 4 stars, 2 4.5 stars, and then 5 stars. So that side of it's going better. That I'm picking up what I need, and that's probably what I should be doing more of, is picking up what I need. So the first of the 4 stars is one that is going to my mum, and that is P.S. Come to Italy by Nikki Pellegrin. Older protagonist. It does talk about dementia, which I find hard because my nan had dementia, and that was something I still struggle with in books. But it's got an older protagonist. It's set in Italy. It was like going on holiday in a book, and I love the descriptions. I love the fact that you can be older and still get your life back, and romance and families, and there were some twists in this that I didn't expect. And it was a lovely summary book that I really needed. So, nice 4 stars. And like in Puglia, and it's just like the whole, like, it's like an older protagonist romance, and like finding love again, and it's finding yourself and finding your style, and just, I loved it. Like, I had my hair cut on Saturday. The next video that I'm going to be filming is I'm going to have my hair dyed. So I'm doing things for myself to perk myself up. And this is about doing that again. She gets a haircut when she's on there. She gets styled, and it's just finding your own style. I love that. So yeah, that's 4 stars. And then for my Jane Austen book, I don't know if Mum will like it, but I'm putting it back on my shelves. And this is What Kitty Did Next by Kerry Cavlin. And it's a retelling of Kitty Bennet. And I read it for Jane Austen in July, and it was just sugar candy. Jane Austen. I've not really read much like fun stuff about Kitty Bennet, and oh god, I hate Lydia. I hated Lydia in Pride and Prejudice, and I hate Lydia even more in this. And I love Lizzie, and it's got all like the Bennet sisters. It's Pride and Prejudice retelling, and it was just sugar candy. It was just what I needed. It was fun. Pride and Prejudice. The only reason why it only got 4 stars and not 5 or 4 or even 4.5 was it took a long time to get to that bit where she does the boo-boo, or where it seemed to be that she does a boo-boo. And that bit took a while to get into, but I loved it. I loved it, loved it, loved it. So that is going to be a keepy. Then to my actual Jane Austen, like this is the one, I think this is one of the Greek books, and it's Sense and Sensibility. I've still got Pride and Prejudice that I'm going to be reading probably either this week or next. No, I'm going to read it next week. So the week before I go on holiday, I'm going to read it that week because it's a shorter one, but shorter than that big one. But I like to kind of space out my classics. But this is my reread of Pride and Prejudice, and I'm not counting it as a reread on my shelf because this is a different copy than what I've got. And I bloody loved it so much more. I still don't like it as much as I liked Pride and Prejudice, but I think it's now gone from being bottom. It's beating Northanger Abbey for me, and it's beating Mansfield Park. And Mansfield Park was like right up there, and now my order's all changing. Like when I read, more times I reread them, the more I'm getting into them. Well, I love Jane Austen July. You can reread your classics and get more. And I absolutely loved it. Like, I didn't, but now I couldn't, I tried to watch the TV adaptation and I couldn't watch it because I found myself comparing it. And it's a bit more about Eleanor Dashwood and her younger sister Marianne. But then I read into it and I remember that I didn't actually remember the younger sister bit. And I got more out of this one on more reread, and I actually enjoyed it far more, and I enjoyed the sisters. I didn't like Lucy Steele, and I didn't like certain characters, and I got way more into it. And who's the baddie? Willoughby was the baddie, and oh my god, I wanted to kill him in this book. But I really got more out of it on a reread, so yay! I'm so happy I reread it. It was like three and a half stars last time, but that was like 4, but possibly even a 4.5. Like, I really, really enjoyed it. Now to my 4-star book, and this is one I'm going to give away to someone, and that is The Three Dahlias. And yeah, if Alice was in here, she would have loved this book, because it was like, it's a murder mystery, and it's for fans of Agatha Christie. So if you like Agatha Christie, you would actually really enjoy this. One weekend convention, 3 very unconventional detectives. And apparently there's another one coming out in the series, A Very Lively Murder, and I want to read that. Like, I'm not keeping this, it doesn't mean I don't want to read it. I can't keep mysteries, like, but like, there's 3 detectives, and they're 3 actresses who play a detective, and there are connections with Agatha Christie, and there's like a mystery, and I didn't guess the twist, and I loved it. It took ages to guess who the murderer was and who the twists were, and the detectives the ladies are all so different, but then so good, and it was just, oh my god, I really, really enjoyed this. This was like 4 stars, but a good end 4 stars. It was the mystery that I needed. I picked it up because I think Charlie from Charles Heathcote had got it, or someone had talked about it. And it's the kind of mystery that I know that I need. And I will say that, Charlie, you would like this, but if you like Agatha Christie, you will definitely like this. So I'm going to recommend it to Kirsten from reading it, because she would really like this. It's like her kind of mystery stuff. So yeah, it's a good one. Then to one of my summer books, and that was Daughters of Cornwall by Fern Britton. It's 3 women, multi-generational saga. It's my first Fern Britton, but now it's made me want to get more of her books. First time I set in 1918, then it's 1947, then it's 2020, and the timelines do really connect well. It's 3 generations of women, and love can last a lifetime, but can it last 3? Really interesting. Romances, family saga, really good, kind of set in Cornwall, so I love the Cornwall setting, I love the beachy setting, I love the family saga bit. Yeah, definitely a really good book. Mum's going to like that. My mum she's got to hurry up and read these blooming books. Then I'm rating it, this is actually apparently 3rd in the series. I borrowed it from the library, it's like 3rd in the series. It's my first Abby Elphinstone, and it is, but this is very, very middle grade, so I had to rate it as if I was very much a middle grade reader. And it's middle grade fantasy, but it's the 3rd in the series, so I need to read the other books. I didn't realise that when I borrowed it from the library, so fantasy, middle grade, good laugh. Then to a book that's going back on the shelves, and this is Jane Austen, A Life by Claire Tomlin. It's 4 stars. I'm kind of rating a lot of my non-fiction memoir sort of things 4 stars, and this is about Jane Austen, and it's got pictures, and it's more non-fiction about her. I loved it, really enjoyed it. I found out a few more facts that I didn't realise. I just really enjoyed it. Definitely enjoyed it. Then to Untamed by Glennon Doyle, which is my TBR jar pick. Didn't do too badly, TBR jar, didn't. I read it in a day. So it's a memoir, but it's about stop pleasing, start living, and I can kind of relate that. It's set in America for starters, LGBTQI like character, And she's telling her stories about conditioning and how we tell our children things and lessons as a parent, but probably the American side of it I can't relate to. But definitely the empowering women, like, you've got to stop apologising for you and things like that, and there are some good lessons. Interesting. All right. Not one. That. Then my last library book, and this is on the 4.5 stars, and this is the Bookshare by Vida Patrick. I had this on my Amazon wish list. It's one I will always recommend this author. I've loved all of her work. It's an Irish author, I believe, but I think this is always set in England. And this is about Liv Green loves losing herself in a good book, but her everyday reality is less romantic, cleaning houses for people who can barely give her the time of day. And then she's like doing housekeeping for the best-selling author Essie Starling, and she can't believe her luck. And when Essie dies unexpectedly, Liv is left with a life-changing wish to create Essie's last novel. And Essie's like, Liv is kind of similar age to me, but she's got older children. So one's is at uni, one's about to go to uni. So very different like age time on that, because I'm an older mum, my kids are different. But the way her husband just expects her to do everything, kind of, don't we all relate to that? And she's growing and learning herself, and she kind of put herself second for a long time, and like becoming a writer. And I do wonder whether when my kids are older and I'm not necessarily needed to be a mum as much, will I find some other passion? And I like the fact she finds her writing and she writes and stuff. And obviously, when my kids got older, I got more and more into YouTube, and I do wonder what's going to happen when they get older. Like, I'm going to be an older mum, so I'm going to go off and do my different things. But got me thinking, and yeah, and the writing and the like doing a passion, and that we all sometimes feel like we're walked over. Yeah, really enjoyed that. Then to a book that surprised me, and Mum is going to borrow this, and this is The Jane Austen Society by Natalie Jenner. I read the third book in the series, and then I've got to read The Bloomsbury Girls, but apparently the lovely Angela from reading off my shelf is going to give me the second one. So I read her third book, which was something else, I can't remember what it is, Before We Say Goodbye. But this I loved way more than I loved the third book, and because of the Jane Austen connections. And it's not had amazing reviews on YouTube, but on Goodreads, but I bloody loved it. I love the Jane Austen Society. It did get a bit of time to get into, which is probably why it's not 5 stars. But it talks about Jane Austen, and it talks about her books, and it talks about community, and it's historical fiction, and I just really, 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 really enjoyed it, like way more than I thought I would. And it's like about the Jane Austen Society, and they've created the Jane Austen Society, and there's different characters, and just really, 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 really enjoyed it. It's actually a really great Jane Austen July book. And now to my 5 stars. I've given up sort of asking you guys to guess what will be my favourite book, because all of them are good. I think most of them are series books, so you know my series books aren't favourite books, but they are really good. And the first one is finally one of my series is completed. Yes! It's the last one in the Becky Chambers series. It is the last one in the Long Range Planet series. It is The Galaxy and the Ground Within. I didn't like the third book as much. I loved the first book, enjoyed the second book. This one comes after I need to do an order like series, but pretty much it goes first, fourth, second, third. This was really good, and I really, 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 really enjoyed it. Tiffany from Towering TBR said I would love this one more. And this one has, again, we have different characters. It's about Pei, Rovek, Speaker, and Olu and Tupu. And there are different bits in it, and there are you do see characters from the first book. But what I liked is there are not too many lead characters in this. Too many centralised characters. So it doesn't jump too much, which is what I enjoyed. Thoroughly enjoyed this. Brilliant end to the series. Not one I'm gonna... I can't wait to reread the series again. It's like a series I'm keeping because I just want to reread it again. It's just amazing. Then the penultimate book in this Heroes of Olympus series. And oh my god, this has destroyed me. Heroes of Hades, The House of Hades, destroyed me into a million frigging pieces. I'm buddy reading with this with Kat from Brews and Reviews. Apparently we've got the Trials of Apollo series, and apparently I've now got to... I bought a book from Waterstones, like the Nico, a book about Nico, and apparently I've got to read Trials of Apollo before I can read the Nico book. So now I've got to go, I've owned the first 2 and I've now got to get through the 3 more. And I'm reading that next year. Because this series has been bloody amazing. It's just what I need at the moment. With my headspace, fantasy's up there with contemporary, even more than I would say historical fiction is for what I need at the moment. It's like eating a chocolate bar. I just can't. But it's like eating one of those bloody... I have a dairy intolerance, so I can't eat too much chocolate. Because otherwise it makes me sick. And with this, I know that if I can't put it down, but I have to put it down, because if I don't, then I'll finish it too quickly and I'll feel sick. I'll just overwhelm myself if I read it too quickly. So that's why buddy reading this is so good. But this is like the best chocolate bar. It's like a Dairy Milk. It's better than a Dairy Milk Oreo, because Dairy Milk Oreo makes me sick too quickly. It's like a bag of Crunchy Bites or something like that, because I love that. I just love it. It's bitey, it's chewy, it's just, it's everything. It's just, I just love this bloody book. And this has got all of those lead characters, and it's the penultimate book, so I know that I'm going to be reading the last one at the start of August. As soon as I get back from holiday, I'm reading the last one in the series. It talks about all the characters. It's got Hazel and Annabeth and the gods, and I love the Greek gods, and I just bloody love that book. Sorry for swearing, but I love that book so much. There's a book that surprised me that it's like a 5-star, because I don't do contemporaries as 5 stars, but this Jo Thomas book is a 5-star, and it is Summer at the Ice Cream Cafe. We know at the start that this author that this lead character wants to foster, and she goes back to her Pembrokeshire coast homeland where she grew up, but she ran away from. And we've got the coastal bits. This is her latest book from last year. Ice Cream Cafe. It talks about ice cream. It talks about gelato. It talks about family. It talks about friendships, second chances, fostering. It was just incredible. I love this contemporary author, and I'm actually going to reread this. I'm going to keep this on my shelf to reread, but Mum's going to obviously read it first. And it's just brilliant. Jo Thomas never disappoints. I'm collecting all her books. I'm kind of hoping that her newest one goes in the charity shop quickly, because, yeah. Then the third in the Tea Shop Girl series. So again, this is a series book, so I can't tell you too much. This is about Rose, Lily, Flora, Anya, all the people from the Tea Shop Girl series. Cannot give you any spoilers. Kept me on my toes. It's Elaine Everest. I've not written a good review. Sorry, I've not written my review really on Goodreads. I've done it on Amazon. I can't think right to process the words. I know what's in my head, but trying to write it down when I'm in this headspace is not working. So I'm sorry, Elaine Everest. I'm sorry to all you guys. My reviews are crap at the moment on Goodreads, because I just can't do it. It's going to be great fun with those 2 books, isn't it? My books for the book tours. How's this going to work? I have no idea. But bloody love this. Love the series. Wartime historical fiction. Characters that I love from all the books in the series. It's just bloody brilliant. Mum wants to read that quicker than all the other books. And then last but not least, to a book that I'm straight up going to tell you is one of my favourites of the year so far. It's Legends and Lattes. Like I said, with my girly stuff going on at the moment, that's playing up, and my moods are all over the place. And I put down Prodigal Summer. I was like, I couldn't remember what other book I was reading. One of those books I was reading, I was like, I need a book, a cosy book. I need something to really cheer me up. And the girls that are in our group, it's not called the Waffle Net, it's called On the Donuts, but those girls were like, yeah, pick this up. And it's just what I needed. It's Legends and Lattes. Everyone knows this book. It's high fantasy, low stakes, good company. High fantasy, coffee shop, great characters, LGBTQI characters, bit of romance, bit of slay monsters. You got like, loads of different characters and different races. I'm gonna be reading Bookshops and Bone Dust. Like, I put it on my wish list when it comes into paperback, because I want the paperback copy to match this paperback. And I know that Kirsten from Reading It loved this. I know that a lot of my friends have loved it. I know that Jack loved it. I know that Charlie loved it. I know that everyone loved it, and I love it. It's just what I needed. Not one for Mum, but I needed it. So I've not got too much to move. So those are my favourites. Those are my books that I've read. I'm going to briefly talk about 6/7 books that I'm adding to my TBR. And I will obviously have more, but I'm picking up a library book on Thursday. First one is that I want just a brief, short, kiddie one that's been on my shelf for ages. It's a Roald Dahl. I know he's a git, but I've had this book on my shelf for ages, and that's The Giraffe, the Pele and Me. It's been on my shelves for ages, and giraffes make me think of my sister Charlie. It's a short but sweet book, but I need it off my TBR, so I might pick this up on one day where I just need to boost my numbers up for the holiday. But I don't know anything about this one. No book ever ends when it's full of beautiful friends. The Giraffe, Pele and Me. Friends, giraffes. Hope you kind of connect with it. Then I picked up a book that is another series book. It's one that I got gifted by an anonymous gifter on Amazon recently, and that's the last book in the Chocolate Girl series, Homecoming for the Chocolate Girls by Annie Murray. Again, I can't tell you too much about it because it is about the Chocolate Girls, who are third in the series. But it's about Joy, Sheila, and the Gilby family, and it really is like it wraps everything up. And I need that. I need that family saga. I need the just Chocolate Girls. I just needed this. It just felt like the right book to end the month on. Then to a book that I found in the works not very long ago, and this is the first, and it just looks like it was, I've only had it on my shelf not long, but this is The Bookshop by the Lock. This looks like a summary book, so I wanted an excuse to read it. It's by Julie Shackman. We've got another one of her books on my shelves at Baz Books, but I don't want to buy it until I know if I like this author's writing. But it's the word bookshop, and it's by the Lock. I love Scotland books. And this is Lexi Dunbar is a book lover, and her favourite place in the world is her local bookshop, Bookends. So when she hears that it's going to be sold, Lexi decides she needs to do something to help. Lexi's plan to save the ailing shop is fully underway until a gorgeous but grouchy artist, Tobias Black, arrives on the scene, determined to turn the bookshop into an art gallery. Tensions rise, and it's romance, and it's bookshops, and it's Scotland. Just what I need. Then I just sod it. I thought I'm gonna finish this Bridgerton book series before the end of the year. I know we've got ages to the next film. And I think this is Francesca's story. A moment so tremendous, so sharp and breathtaking. For Michael Sterling, London's most famous bachelor, that moment that he first came to London where he first laid eyes on Francesca Bridgerton. After a lifetime of chasing women, with a smiley slidey as they chased him, by allowing himself to be caught but never permitting his heart to become engaged, he took one look at Francesca Bridgerton and fell in love. Unfortunately, for Michael, however, Francesca's surname was to remain Bridgerton for a mere 36 hours longer, an occasion of their meeting lambertly super celebrating her imminent wedding to his cousin. So I must admit, I'm wondering how the Bridgerton series, where she's actually married his cousin in the actual TV series, so I'm wondering how that's going to connect to that, so kind of quite intrigued. And then you've got a Katie Ford one. I don't normally add these to like my TBR videos that I'm showing, but it's like a French one. This is one of our older books, but I got this quite cheap at the Baz Books. And this is, again, it's a French book set in France. Gina and Sally Makepeace have inherited a stall in the French house, an antique centre nestled in the heart of the English countryside. Oh, I thought it was France. But Gina is determined to drag the French house and its grumpy owner into the 21st century, bearing all the attributes of a modern-day Mr. Rochester, however. Oh, so it's connected to Jane Austen's July. Matthew Bellinger is less than happy with the whirlwind that has arrived on his doorstep. Oh, the last thing either of them want is to fall in love, but will a trip to France change their mind? It does actually look quite good. I'm quite glad I freaked out and chose that. And then a book to the one I know I'm packing to take on holiday with me, and that's Isabel Broom, The Beach Holiday. I always take her books on holiday with me, and it's, I don't know very much about this, and it's the all-aspiring novel. This is her book that came out last year. I always read her books like a year later, and Honor has ever wanted is to be successful. The only way she can impress the father that abandoned her, the boyfriend that gave up on her, and the nagging voice in her head tells her she's not good enough. Still wanting to tell a story is not the same as having a story to tell, and Honor knows that she needs to find a new source of inspiration. She goes to the Hamptons. Somewhere abroad in the Hamptons. Don't know where exactly this is. Don't know too much about it, but I know that it looks good, and I know that I can't wait to take it on holiday. And then lastly, Perfect by Rachel Joyce. It is set in summer 1972, the claustrophobic heat. The 11-year-old Byron and his friends begin Operation Perfect, a hapless mission to rescue Byron's mother from an impending crisis. And then winter present day, the frost creeps over the moor. Jim cleans tables at the local cafe. A solitary figure struggling with OCD. His job is to relieve from the rituals that govern his nights. Don't know any much about this. Rachel Joyce. Been on my shelves for a while. It looks big enough. I don't know if I'll read it before or after or on holiday. Probably actually before, because it kind of, yeah, looks a little bit wintry actually. I'm thinking that's a bit of a stupid idea. But even though the sun's not out today, if you got to the end of this video, give me a sun emoji, because I need the sun out for the holiday and I want the end of the month to go well and I need to perk myself up again. We all need a bit of that at the moment. But let me know what books you've been enjoying. Let me know what books you've still got to read. Are you enjoying Jane Austen July? Are you joining in? I love chatting to you all in the comments. I've gained a lot of subscribers because of what's happened in my video about Alice. I'm sure she'd be up there cheering me on, although she'd probably be seriously embarrassed that everyone was being so sweet, because she would hate that gushingness. She didn't like it if you were too soppy. She'd always tell me she needed the sick bucket. But yeah, thank you to all you new subscribers. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you like my channel. If you're new to my channel and not subscribed yet though, bring on the ding-a-ling. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I hope you all do well. Take care everyone. Bye bye.